Alright, so here we are on the battle map, the Shimazu facing off against the Ito, and I'm going to let you watch this general speech. These are pretty darn cool. It's like a cooler version of the Rome Total War speeches. Apparently the men approve, which is good, because they're going to battle whether they like it or not. Alright, so it was actually raining when I first started. I waited for, just a bit, and the rain quit. And now we just have a lot of fog, and it's foresty, so you're probably not going to get a whole lot of good close-up views from this type of battle. But that's okay. I think you'll enjoy the nice graphics and the kind of setting and aura that this game is supposed to help you feel. And I think sometimes this is the kind of aura that you get, like in Japanese type feel. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and ring the gong here and start the battle. I'm going to actually move my troops to move up the side of this hill. The enemy is apparently hidden and back in those hills and in the forest. We're going to see how the enemy AI reacts to me basically just marching around its flanks and ignoring its position on the hill. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Alright, sorry, I'm resetting something on my phone here I had to take care of. Okay. Alright, so yeah, like you can see, there's a general's bodyguard, or not a general's bodyguard. Their general unit is the only thing that's visible because you can't hide your general, and it's a light cav unit. They're not going to be very tough. You saw what units they had before this battle, so obviously that's what they have hidden. So, and I just want to get better position by marching up the side of this hill. It's going to take a little while, even with it in fast forward. So here in just a second, I'm going to cut this off and just it'll come back on whenever we hit the battle portion. But we're going to see how the new AI reacts to this. Okay, so my men are now in a better position. I'm going to march up and over this hill and engage the enemy skirmishers. Remember, they have 2 bow units to my 1, so I doubt that's going to go in my favor. However, the infantry will go in my favor, and my general's bodyguard cav is far superior to the light cavalry being fielded by the enemy. So there's some of their units coming into view. It's a bow ashigaru unit. You see them hidden down there in those trees. And there's lots of fog too, so you definitely wouldn't be seeing anything too good. Another unit just came into view. So the enemy units are coming into view, of course, as I move mine closer, just as in past Total War games, so nothing new there. And the enemy bows have opened fire on me. So I'm going to return fire. My men are actually going to be just outside of the cover of those trees, so the enemy is definitely going to get the better of the skirmish. They have more men, and their men have better cover. So I'm not really going to let this skirmish fight take on or go on for very long. I'm just going to let my make sure my men are completely rested before I basically send them charging up and over the hill, and I'm just going to overwhelm the enemy by force, as I think I have 3 units of melee infantry to their 1, so it ought to be a pretty easy battle for me. But the AI on here is better, and so we expect to see them maybe cause me some more losses or something. So we'll see what happens. I'm definitely enjoying this campaign so far, though. It's great. It really is. It's got good graphics, fun gameplay. The enemy armies are better. I haven't seen this yet, and I haven't played much, so I can't guarantee. But I haven't seen the AI running around with like tiny little 1-unit armies like they did on Empire and Napoleon. That irritated the crap out of me. So CA, if you fix that, oh bless you. So in any case, here's me moving up my general and my infantry. We're just going to go ahead and take care of business here. When you click and drag your units, it does set them to default run, which is usually what I want. So I'm kind of glad it's that way. And whenever I don't want them to do it, you can simply just click on the little button there that makes them go to a walk so that they don't get too worn out. Alright, so now all the enemy units are visible. I'm going to rush their Yari Ashigaru and their Bow Ashigaru. Basically, I'm just going to run my men forward here like you've seen me do on Rome Total War, and just get engaged as quickly as possible since my skirmishing forces are inferior. Alright, my men are engaging now, and I'll try and zoom up and get you some close-ups where I can. There is a lot of forest. Here's the Battle of the Ashigaru. Mine are losing. They have poor position. And there's the enemy, some more enemy troops there. There's my general's cav charging down the enemy light cav. And like I said, I'm going to easily win that fight. But of course, you know, I can't stay zoomed in. Even though I'm commenting this afterwards, the filming here is taking place while I'm having to command my units. So I can't keep zoomed in the entire time. The enemy cavalry is about to rout, though, much as I need it to. You can see the morale and the damage done to the flags, because the flags start to get tattered as they become damaged. And the blinking means they're wavering and or routed. If it's blinking in red bar, then that means that they are wavering. And if it's blinking with a white bar, that means that they've routed. And if the flag disappears altogether, that means that unit is shattered, which means it cannot come back to the fight. So there's a victory for me. All I had to do was finish off the enemy cav and then turn around for a quick hammer and anvil on the enemy Yari Ashigaru. And that's the end of the fight. Hope you enjoyed the battle. I'm going to run these men down, but I will see you back on the campaign map. Alright, there's the results of that fight. If you can see I took quite a few losses. It's the enemy spear units were in better position, killed a lot of my men, which kind of sucks. Plus their archers took a pretty good chunk out of me. But oh well, they're dead, and they're not going to be touching my farms anymore, so take that, you Ito scum. That's right. There's a new power in Japan. Alright, you can see here how long it takes your units to retrain. It takes a long time, so you want to be careful about losing units, because it does take a long time to retrain units that get really beat up. Very much longer, it seems like, as far as turns go than in previous Total War games. So, yeah, you definitely want to fight in such a way, not the typical Heir of Carthage fashion where you're throwing your troops away. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade my docks there. And everything else should be set. Don't really have a lot of money. I'm going to check my, yeah, we're already researching the Bushido there, so that's good. So we can go ahead and end the turn. Yeah, I really like this campaign. I do. It's neat. The campaign map looks cool. There's a lot of territories. I am kind of disappointed that it's just Japan. But since CA only did Japan, it kind of seems like they had a better focus. So rather than worrying about how many different factions and all the different units for the factions they're going to bring in, they really did an extraordinary job, in my opinion, on the gameplay. And I think it's worth the trade-off. Now, I don't want that in every Total War game. You can see my Katana Samurai being introduced there in that video. I don't want that in every Total War game, but I think it's good. And there we mastered the Bushido, so now we can move on and start studying the appropriate items to get the Way of the Sword, which is our mission. And it's already set to defense, which we don't want, so we're going to set the attacking here, the researching the art of attack, and that'll help us get to the Way of the Sword. Alright, everything looks to be on track as far as right now. You can upgrade your roads here. I click that. Of course, the Total War Encyclopedia will show us what they're good for. You can see that it helps regenerate your troops faster as well as move your men around, so that's definitely worth it. I love this Total War Encyclopedia. Very cool. Again, I think it really helps make the game more enjoyable for people like me who aren't familiar with the historicity of that period. Alright, so my Katana Samurai ready. I'm going to join them up with my general. I'm waiting one more turn for my Bow Ashigaru to finish training, but I'm going to go ahead and train one further unit. That way I have plenty of Bow Ashigaru in my army. And it'll be helpful to have some tough infantry like those Katana Samurai and the Bow Ashigaru to help me out until I get some more horses, which I will soon need. I like the campaign minimap. You can see the different European trade areas there, and we're going to have access to those since we're in on the island of Kyushu. It's going to be kind of handy. So we should have access to gunpowder in this, whereas some of the other clans may have a harder time finding access to it. Alright, there's the introduction to my Bow Ashigaru. I think it just introduces these the first time the unit becomes available so that you know what it's good for and maybe what it's an improvement over when you get them. Alright, so I'm going to take these Bow Ashigaru that have just trained. That's my daimyo there. He's the leader of the clan. I'm going to join up my Bow Ashigaru with my army, which is replenishing at a decent rate, but still has a lot of men to go. You can see that there. And we're going to march on Osumi Castle and pay back these Ito filth for their raid on my farm. You can see the winter attrition is blinking on my flag, which means you don't want to just be sitting there when the turn ends, or else your men are going to die. So that's why I want to just go ahead and assault this, plus their defense is only 45 men. So welcome to Osumi Castle, and enjoy another general speech.
戦の支度ができた。敵軍は準備万端。これ以上待たせては失礼というものじゃ。我が計略は簡単明瞭。この石垣を叩き崩すのじゃ。それができれば乗り越えるまで、乗り越えられねば敵の屍を積んで登るまでよ。すべての準備が整った。戦えば我らが勝つであろう。あとは祝宴じゃ。
Alright, I like how he said that basically if we don't succeed and we die, then we're just going to end up haunting this castle. So that's pretty funny. That's my kind of general. It's victory at any cost. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and move my archers up. I can pretty much use these guys to slaughter the enemy, as their walls aren't going to be tall enough to keep them from being hit by my arrows. There are areas where the enemy inside the castle can hide from my arrows and get some protection, but I have enough arrows and I'm pretty sure that I won't have to do any scaling of the walls. Now, some of you might want to see me scale the walls. I'll show you that in a different video, of course. Here's the enemy defense. When the castle has no troops, you automatically get this unit called Samurai Retrainers. So there they are, and basically it's only 45 men to defend your castle, so good luck, because I have 360 bowmen who are itching to do some killing. Here they are. They were hiding in the back, now they're running forward. If I were those guys, I would have stayed. Well, there's nowhere they can hide, they're screwed. Here's my bows coming into position. I'm going to click an attack order so that all of them engage. And then I'm going to let you see the Rain of Death from the point of view of my enemy. And I have to go ahead and warn you, there's going to be some, I say warn you, not really, there's going to be some wonderfully graphic arrow content here. So, yeah, Shogun Total War, you can see all the arrows and stuff sticking into the ground. And what's even cooler here in a minute, I zoom up, I'll show you. Look at that, see that little gatehouse there? You can actually garrison those guys in there, and they will be, have a whole lot of cover from my arrows. Now, the computer didn't do it for some reason. Check that out. Oh my gosh, that is just brutal. 45 men getting rained down on by tons of arrows. And I'm also looking for wounded people, because there's sometimes wounded people in the battlefield, rather than just all of them dying, which really looks cool. Kind of gruesome. Check this guy out right here on the right side of my screen. I think I'm about to show him. Oh, check out those guys. That is just awful. Anyway, check out this guy on the right side of my screen. He's sitting there writhing on the ground with like 2 or 3 arrows pierced through him. Brutal. And anyway, there comes another volley. Anyway, I love that guy. Just awful, man. He's rolling around with arrows stuck in him. Here's the last 2 remaining enemies, and you can see that here comes another brutal volley. And look at the effects of this one. That guy seriously has like 30 arrows stuck in him. That is just awful. Anyway, I thought you'd like that. I love how brutal that is. Anyway, that's obviously a victory for me. Heroic for me to stick those men with so many arrows, but I told them there was going to be revenge, so they should have been prepared. Anyway, there's the results of that heroic victory, where I slew the Samurai Retrainers with a massive arrow volley. You can see why it's handy to have the bow Ashikaru, otherwise I would have taken quite a few losses. Now, I've captured the province. You can loot it, or you can peacefully occupy. Obviously I want to peacefully occupy in this case, because I don't want the settlement to be angry at me, because that's just going to cost me time. If I needed the money, which I kind of do need the money, but it's just not worth very much. So that mission was successful. We now have been given the call to arms bonus, which gives us an extra recruitment slot at our castle towns. So that's pretty handy. And we only lost 1 man in that battle. How I lost 1 man, I don't really know, but I guess he accidentally shot himself with the bow and arrow. I don't have enough money to upgrade my port, and I need to go ahead and upgrade it once more, because I'm pretty sure they're going to give me the mission to trade with the Europeans. Plus, I want to be able to trade with them. And also, it said my general can now have skills unlocked in a skill tree. So I was actually looking around, I didn't know where to do it. So this is just me looking around, but I do now know where to do it. This is obviously your faction scroll. You can take a look at your general here. Again, I'm still looking for how to unlock a skill tree. I do figure it out, though. So anyway, you can see what's in there. That's my only general right now. And you can see my daimyo up there at the top of the family tree. Alright. Any case, I'm still looking through the buttons because I was a bit slow, but eventually I figured it out. So give me time here. I picked that. Here's the general that has the skill tree available, and essentially if you just right-click him, I thought it would bring up the Total War Encyclopedia, but it actually brings up the scroll for the general there, and you can see the flashing button where we can increase a skill tree. I have 2 skill points to spend, and the 2 skills, I can't actually see them. I think one of them is, one of them has to do with being a warrior, and the other one's about like a strategist. And I think the strategy one just, the warrior one makes his bodyguard unit have better melee, and then the strategist one I think makes you have like a better campaign movement speed or something. Anyway, you can read it on your screen. I just can't see it on this one. So that's how you increase your general's skills. I think that is really cool because, you know, in past Total War games, your general would, of course, gain ancillaries and command stars, but this one kind of gives you control over what you want them to learn and what you want them to get better at. And I think that's really cool. Nice addition to the campaign. So I think CA wins with that. Also, you can give them retainers, kind of like I was telling you yesterday. You have the Armored War Dog, and then the other one is some weird name I can't pronounce. I definitely want to take the War Dog because it gives me a bonus to melee and my bodyguard, and I kind of want that. I'm just not interested in the other one. So there, we're going to pick the War Dog, and there we go. I think I'm getting close to the end of this video, so I hope you've enjoyed it so far. Basically, I'm just going to keep increasing our buildings so that our economy gets better, and we're going to take out the Ito, and then move on the other clan that's up there. I think Higo is the name of the province or something like that. I don't remember their name. But we're going to have to go conquer them so that we can get horses. I hope you've enjoyed this video and a look into Shogun 2 Total War.